What happens when a beloved television star finds himself caught in a web of assumptions and misunderstandings that spirals completely out of control? Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking moments in daytime television history, when David Boreanaz, the man who captivated audiences as Angel in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and as Special Agent Seeley Booth in Bones, found himself in an explosive confrontation with Kelly Clarkson that nobody saw coming. This wasn't your typical celebrity interview gone slightly awkward. This was a full-blown meltdown that had everyone in the studio questioning what they had just witnessed. Before we get into the details of how this all unfolded, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you think really triggered this situation, because trust me, by the end, you'll have some strong opinions on who was really in the wrong. It began like any other episode of The Kelly Clarkson Show. Kelly was her usual upbeat self, ready to chat with David about his latest projects and share some laughs about his long career in Hollywood. The audience was buzzing, filled with longtime fans of Buffy and Bones, who were thrilled to see David in such a relaxed setting. Kelly welcomed him warmly, saying with a playful laugh, "David, it's so wonderful to have you here. I have to tell you, I was such a huge Bones fan, and honestly, I think I had a bit of a crush on Booth." The audience chuckled. David smiled politely, though his demeanor felt slightly reserved. "That's kind of you to say. The show meant a lot to all of us," he replied, his voice professional, measured. Kelly wasn't finished with the Bones talk. "I mean, the chemistry between you and Emily Deschanel was incredible. Did you two ever, have any real-life moments where you felt that spark?" The room shifted. David's expression hardened almost imperceptibly. "Emily is a consummate professional and a dear friend. We had great working chemistry, but that's all there was." His tone clipped just enough to warn her off, but Kelly pressed forward with a smile. "Oh, come on, you can tell me. Fans always wondered if there was something more going on behind the scenes." David shifted in his seat, jaw tightening. "Kelly, I think you're misunderstanding something here. Emily and I worked together for 12 years. She's married, I'm married, and we respect our families. There was never anything inappropriate, and frankly, I'm not sure why we're even discussing this." His voice carried a firmer edge now, but Kelly seemed to interpret his discomfort as playful resistance. "You're being so coy," she teased. "That's exactly what someone would say if there really was something there. Come on, David. This is a safe space." The audience laughed, but uneasily. The mood shifted from lighthearted to tense. David's eyes narrowed, irritation flashing across his face. "No, Kelly, I'm not being coy. I'm being honest and trying to maintain some dignity. What you're suggesting is inappropriate and disrespectful to Emily, to our families. I came here to talk about my work, not to fuel gossip." His voice rose just enough to silence the laughter. Kelly looked surprised, then tried to smooth things over. "Whoa. Okay. Clearly I hit a nerve. I didn't mean anything by it. I was just having fun with the fans' favorite theories. But speaking of relationships," she leaned in. "I wanted to ask you about something else I heard." David's expression tightened further. "What rumors?" "There have been whispers of tension on the set during the later seasons of Bones. People saying there were disagreements about storylines, some even suggesting you weren't always the easiest to work with." The audience murmured uncomfortably. David stared at her, his hands gripping the chair. "Where exactly are you getting this information, Kelly? Because I have to say, this interview is taking a turn I wasn't prepared for." Kelly gave a casual shrug that felt anything but casual. "Oh, you know Hollywood. People talk. I'm just curious about your perspective." David's voice dropped dangerously low. "What kinds of things exactly?" "Well, for example," Kelly continued, "I heard there were heated discussions about your character's development, and some sources suggested you could be pretty demanding when things didn't go your way." David froze, eyes locked on hers. "Sources?" His voice was quiet, almost too quiet. What sources would those be, Kelly? Because I'm starting to get the impression this entire interview was set up under false pretenses. Kelly quickly tried to backpedal. Oh no, David, that's not what this is about. I just want to give our audience a real, authentic conversation. People want to know the real you. The real me? His voice rose. The real me is someone who's worked in this industry for over 25 years, who's conducted himself professionally, and who's never had to defend his character to a talk show host who thinks ambush journalism is appropriate for daytime TV. The tension in the room was suffocating. Kelly flushed, but pressed on. Look, I'm not trying to ambush you, but when you're in the public eye, people are curious about what you're like to work with. And some people I've spoken to suggest, some of the people you've spoken to? David suddenly stood, his chair scraping against the floor. The studio went silent. Are you telling me you actively sought negative information about me before inviting me here? That you've been conducting some kind of investigation into my professional conduct? Kelly looked startled by his intensity, but doubled down. I think you're overreacting. This is just normal interview prep. Every host does research. David's incredulity was palpable. Normal preparation is learning about a guest's current projects, their career highlights. Normal preparation is not digging up gossip to blindside them on national television. Kelly tried to pivot. Okay, I touched on sensitive topics. Why don't we step back and talk about your new projects? But David wasn't letting it go. No, Kelly. We're not moving on. You can't throw accusations at me and then brush it off when you realize you've crossed a line. The producers in the background gestured frantically, but the situation was beyond saving. The audience sat frozen, unsure if they should even breathe. Kelly attempted to hold her ground. David, I think you're taking this the wrong way. I'm a fan. I wanted an honest conversation. Sometimes the truth isn't comfortable. David gave a short, bitter laugh. The truth? You don't even know what the truth is. You've based your questions on gossip. Do you know how damaging it is to spread unverified rumors about someone's reputation on national TV? Kelly's frustration flared. I'm not spreading gossip. These are legitimate questions from credible sources. Credible sources? David's voice thundered now. Name one. Just one person who actually worked with me who said I was unprofessional. Silence. Kelly's mouth opened, but no words came. That's what I thought, David snapped. You've built this ambush on rumors you can't even back up. Kelly's face burned red. Look, it's not unreasonable to ask about work relationships. You're a public figure. People are curious. There's a difference between curiosity and character assassination, David shot back, and this feels a lot more like the latter. The camera zoomed between his furious face and Kelly's flustered one. The audience didn't dare move. Kelly tried once more. I never said anything about character assassination. I just wanted to get to know the real David, Boreanaz, by attacking my professionalism. His hands trembled with adrenaline. That's not journalism. That's tabloid garbage, and I expected better from you. Finally, Kelly cracked. My reputation? You're the one melting down on live TV because I asked a few tough questions. Maybe the real question is why you're so defensive if there's nothing to hide. The words landed like a bomb. David stared at her, disbelief etched across his face. Then, slowly, nothing to hide? Kelly, I've spent my career building a reputation on professionalism and respect. I've never been accused of being difficult, and now you suggest my reaction to your ambush proves the accusations true? His calm now was scarier than his anger. He took a breath, voice low but icy. Kelly, I came here as a favor to your producers, who told me this would be lighthearted. Instead, I've been interrogated based on unsubstantiated gossip. That's not just unprofessional, it's cowardly. Kelly gaped. Cowardly? David, you need to calm down. Calm down? He barked, his voice echoing. Several audience members flinched. You accuse me of hiding something, then tell me to calm down? Do you understand what you've done here? Kelly's voice wavered. I was just doing my job. Sometimes that means asking hard questions. David laughed harshly. Your job is to entertain and make guests feel welcome, not ambush them with rumors. And the fact that you think this is journalism shows how far this industry has fallen. He unclipped his microphone. The sound seemed deafening in the silence. David, wait, Kelly called, standing for the first time. We can edit this. Out? Reshoot? He turned back, eyes filled with disappointment. Edit it out? That's the problem. You think you can say anything, cross any line, and erase it when there are consequences. That's not how life works. He faced the stunned audience. I apologize you had to watch this. You came here for entertainment and instead saw my reputation dragged through the mud. With that, David Boreanaz walked off the set, leaving behind a speechless host, a frozen audience, and what would soon become one of the most talked about television moments of the year. Kelly stood at her desk, bewildered. Finally, she sat, staring into the camera. Well, she whispered, I guess that's not how any of us expected this to go. The cameras rolled a few more seconds, capturing her shaken expression before cutting to commercial. But the damage was done. Everyone knew they had witnessed something that would be replayed, analyzed, and debated for months to come. What began as a friendly interview had collapsed into a masterclass on how quickly things can go wrong when assumptions are made and boundaries are crossed. So what do you think? Was David justified in his explosive reaction, or did he overreact to innocent curiosity taken too far? Was Kelly out of line in her approach, or just doing what interviewers are supposed to do, ask the questions no one else dares? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more shocking celebrity moments. Because sometimes the truth really is stranger than fiction.